So today's video is brought to you by my very own coffee, Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. It's available in a K-Cup, whole bean, and pre-ground 16-ounce bag. You can find it at justadadcoffee.com, or right underneath the video, you will see the products displayed and you click on them and purchase them right there. Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to set up this iRobot Roomba J5 Plus. So I've just done the unboxing. Now there's some very important steps you need to follow. So with this 5 model series, I've done the i5, now I'm doing the J5. This is the mopping attachment. There's very specific instructions on this box that says do not open until you've set this up by itself. All this has in it is it has instructions just for the mopping, which are important, and it has the mopping attachment. Again, you're gonna put the solution in here. I've already put the pad on. This is the mopping attachment that you can put in the laundry and dry and wash, and they're very easy to put on. It's going to put solution down, and it also vacuums at the same time, and there's that filter. But it's got very important, this is a QR code that's just for the mopping attachment, but again, you have to, I'm going to show you, you've got to set this up all first with its own pad. So let's put this off to the side. J5 Plus. Self-emptying base. I really love this vacuum cleaner. It's got a camera on the front. It also has a bumper, but it self-empties itself when it has this dustbin installed. So here's the dustbin that we're going to use and set it up with. Yeah, there's a release button right here. Rotate it out. There's the filter. Sometimes you have to change or clean. There's where all the dirt goes. You can't open that up, but it has this little flapper right here, and that's what it's going to use. This has a vacuum inside. When it docks, it's going to suck everything out through this and put it into this disposable bag right here that you're going to take out once in a while and get rid of. Over here on the left-hand side, there is a spare bag. This is where you put the spare bags. That's a really nice feature, so they're always ready to go. Make sure and slide this down that track, and it's all the way in. There's a micro switch down there underneath that bag. It has to be all the way in. The lid should close and create an airtight seal. We do have to plug the base unit in. There's the power cord. You will need this in. Start, rotate it. It's got that little hook. Put it in, rotate it till it snaps. The robot comes all assembled, comes with the brush, side brush, everything. There's the charging. These are installed. There's the flapper. Now sometimes I have seen that flapper misaligned. I've seen it kind of tucked up underneath there. Make sure it's nice and even right there. The edge sensor's right here so it won't fall off a stairwell. So when we dock it, it turns itself on, but we do have a big button here. These are the instructions you're going to follow to set it up. It's going to map your house. It's probably going to do an update. The updates can take a while, can be tricky. We're going to do all of that first before we put the mopping attachment on and scan its QR code. So let's, first off, when we put this up against the wall over here, you've got to have 1.5 feet on this side clear, 4 feet on that side, and 4 feet in front of it so that it can dock itself. I found that you don't necessarily need that much room. I've had these in pretty tight spots. So let's go set it up and see how it does. Download the iRobot app. You're gonna have to log in with your username and password, but it works really well and I love it. So let's go set it up. Okay, so here I've got the docking station plugged in. I don't have a light there yet. And again, all I gotta do is line this up and just rotate it on. The wheels will go in that little detent. There, that light comes on and it should turn, yeah, it's turning the robot on. Over here, I've got the iRobot app on my iPad. Okay, on the app, when it's open, I've got other robots on it right now. But let's click the 3 little lines up here, add your product. Now, it rarely finds it. It was searching for it, but it didn't find it. I can scan the QR code with the camera on my iPad, or I can select it manually. I have found that scanning the QR code works the best. All right, so I have the QR code, scan QR code, and again, it's on that directions. This is the directions that came with the robot, not the ones that came with the mop unit. We're gonna use those later. Get started, charging station's all set up. My robot is ready, connected. That's my Wi-Fi, so I gotta give it my Wi-Fi password. And again, there's the light going in a circle. Now it's searching for the product. And of course it couldn't find it, so let's try again. I probably don't have that in discovery mode. So I might do it manually next. Yep, let's get out of this. That beeped at me. So let's do add your product. Searching for products, it's not going to find it. And this time it did. I was going to do the select the product, but now it did find it. Well, that thing beeped at me, so set up. That's the Wi-Fi. If I don't, I could change the Wi-Fi, but that's my Wi-Fi. Now I got to hit continue and give it my Wi-Fi password. All right, now it says it's connecting to my robot. All right, got a blue light and it bing bonged at me. So I got to press this button to confirm that that's the one I want to connect to. Now it's going to go off and check off all of these things right here. Now, I don't recommend putting the mop on. I'd give it a day or two, actually. With the i5, I had so many problems trying to get that mopping thing to work. I would let this map your house. I would do the mapping and kind of get everything, let it update, and then I would worry about the mopping unit. This will just do vacuuming for now. I don't know why this one's the only one. The i5 and the J5 were like this. Let's hit continue. I got to give it a name. This is the J5. Done. Setting it up. And sometimes the update, it doesn't update right away. Yeah, I wish these came with the latest update in, but they typically don't. Welcome to the J5. It's going to go through it. These are important. I recommend watching these. These are actually really good. Okay, this is where it's going to take pictures of things it runs into. You can opt in or maybe later. So it likes to close your app after that. I don't know why. I did that. And this thing's probably rebooting. So then I'll have to go open the app again. Click or it should show up. Yeah, there it is. It's the J5. Retrieve your smart map. So I have other Roombas, and I have saved smart maps. But if you don't have a smart map, you're going to want to do a mapping run. So I'll do the mapping run, but that's a really nice feature that you can reuse other robots in your house that have already created a map of your house. So I'm going to hit no. Doesn't come with much charge, and these things like to have a lot of charge in order to do the mapping run. Now, I'll have to pick things up. It says open the doors. You know, it will avoid things, but kind of pick things up, obviously, so it can get around easily. Okay, let's click the map. Yeah, create a smart map. And down here it says start mapping run. Okay, so it's going to go around the house and start the mapping run. So there's the new Shark Detect Pro. I don't recommend it. Had all kinds of problems with it. It's got a camera on the front too, but it just didn't avoid much. And it's not really a camera, but it tries to avoid things, but it just didn't do a good job. Shark Detect Pro. So now this thing's going to go around and map your house in kind of some random movements. And that's what it says, mapping. Now, if it doesn't finish your mapping, it will go back to the charging station, charge, and then resume the mapping run. That's probably what will happen with mine. Okay, so it finished its mapping run. It did take about 2 hours for that mapping run. That did seem a little long. Now we're going to click on the map. New map. Now we're going to edit this map. It does a pretty, it does a good job of figuring out the rooms. You're just going to have to go in there and change out these borders and name the rooms. That's where it struggles, but that's okay. And then you're going to want to put no-go zones, like I got a computer over here. So let's edit map. We want to call this the first floor. First thing you're going to do is set the orientation. You can press the buttons. I like that orientation. That's fine. Got it. So hit next up here. Now you got to edit the room dividers. See how they're highlighted now? So edit room dividers. So let's go up here like this one, that one there. I'm going to delete that one. It's not necessary. Now when you find one that you need to edit, like this one, you got to rotate it with your fingers. Like get the direction and then move the map where you want it. And you can pinch in and out and move the map where you need it like this. Once you got your room dividers, hit next up here, and you gotta label the rooms. So we gotta click this, edit room names. So you're going to click on a room name. Now give that a name. And see, you want them all to be green. So even though they've got a sort of a name, you want to verify that name. So is that the hallway? Yeah, that is the hallway. So once I verify that name, it'll go from white to green. Okay, once you've got all the rooms named, now it's ready to clean by room. So we could try it now. I'm not going to try that right now. So this is the first floor. Now I want to add zones. Keep out zones and clean zones. So keep out zones and no mop zones are going to be very important. So keep out zone. So I know I have a computer over here. I want to move it. You got to pinch and zoom, make it smaller, grab the edges. So my computer is right here and I want it to stay away from all those cables. So say save. And I'll do that for a bunch of places I want it to stay away from, but hit a clean zone. This is someplace that, like, we have a dog bed right here. And so we get a bunch of dog hair kind of right in this area, right here. So that's, and you want to name that zone. That's the, you can scroll down, there is a pet bed one. Okay, so let's put a no mop zone. So around my front door, I've got a rug. It's good to put these no mop zones around where you have an area rug. So I know I have an area rug. I would go measure it because there is the feet. And that is pretty accurate as far as it comes out 3 feet that way from the door. So go through your house, kind of get some no-go zones, set up everything that you need, and that's going to really help this robot work the best. Okay, so let's go see if it needs an update. Product settings. About J5, product software updated December 8th. So it must have updated yesterday. I let this, so it did its mapping run and I let it sit overnight. You can edit the map the next day. So it must have did an update overnight. Your software update is currently available. It says it's unavailable. I don't know why it would say it's unavailable. Okay, so now we're back to the mopping attachment. So the first thing, you're gonna have to get some solution. You can just put water in there, that's fine. This is ready to use, so you don't have to add any water. You're just going to pour this in at full strength. It's already diluted. This is concentrated, so you're going to have to put like about a half a cap in and the rest water as far as this. Again, I've got the mopping pad attached. You're going to take this one off. Typically, you can do this with it on its base. It can be a little tricky. I have found that you do have to kind of put this in underneath there. You got to get this hook in first. And normally you'd have to lift the vacuum up a little bit, put the hook in, rotate it, and make sure it snaps into place. Now, the screen went to ready to vacuum and mop, but I think we still need to add it. So again, that's where I got this sheet out that was in that box that said do not open till later. We're gonna need that QR code. So we gotta go to add your product. Even though you've already added this J5, add your product, searching for nearby, but you're gonna have to scan that QR code. Okay, so let's hit scan QR code. I have QR code. So there is the mop bucket, and there it says, cannot pick, to get started, install the, it came with. Okay, so make sure the dustbin is installed. I guess don't install this quite yet. So let's go add product. Again, we're going to scan QR code. I have QR code, scan QR code. Again, this is the sheet that came with the mopping attachment. It should show up right here, J5 plus. Well, maybe they updated the software to where you don't need to do that. Originally, I had to do that on when I first got these, but now maybe it's different. I don't know. Sorry, but this one is detecting. So when I put, now let's talk about this one. These things do seep. So when you fill this up with solution or water, this pad is going to get wet and it's going to leak. So I filled this up before and just set it off to the side, and it made a big mess. So keep that in mind that these do like seep. There's little holes in here that's going to take the water and it's going to seep down through there. Yeah, because there's no connection. The robot doesn't pressurize this or anything. There's no like little connections. There's no water pump or anything. So it's just using seep. Okay, I filled that up. I've got it on the robot. Now my display does change to vacuum and mop. So somehow it is set up. Now at this point, if you tell it to vacuum and mop everywhere, that mop head's going to go on your carpet. So you got to pick the rooms. That's why picking the rooms, setting up the rooms is very important. So I'm going to do, I selected a new job. So I'm going to tell it to do just the kitchen, because the kitchen is linoleum. So kitchen only. I could tell it how many passes, 1 pass or 2 passes. Let's just do 1. Start now. And so it's going to undock and go to the kitchen and clean it. Okay, so it's going to the kitchen. So it's important to put this dock kind of on linoleum, because when it travels, it's going to leave a path. And here it does say it's vacuuming and mopping the kitchen. And we can see that is what it's doing. So the floor is getting pretty wet. So I don't think the mop moves or anything. I don't think it like vibrates or does any kind of spinning. And from what I can tell, it just gives you the status of the charge. It doesn't give you quantity of liquid in the bin. Some of the more expensive ones will give you a quantity, how much water is in the bin, how much is left in the bin, but not this one. So it looks like it's doing a pretty good, again, it is vacuuming and mopping at the same time. Sometimes it takes a while for the whole pad to get soaked, because it looks like it's leaving a little streak. Like the whole pad's not wet. So it might be best to do 2 passes when you're doing mopping. Again, there's a little strip that it's not wet, so it may take a while for that whole pad to get wet. And again, this robot, it cannot lift that pad. Once you put it on there, it's on there all the time. So if you tell it to clean a carpeted area, it's going to take that mopping pad to the carpeted area. So when you have the mopping pad on, you got to be very specific and tell it to clean a room that just has hardwood floors or linoleum. Otherwise, it will travel onto carpet with that mopping pad. So I'm going to use this for a while, then I'm going to get my review out. So far, so good. Setup was tricky. I wish the setup was a little bit better. But in the end, the setup did go through. On the i5, the setup didn't go through. It's way complicated. Look for my comparison. I'm going to be comparing this to the J9 and the i5. Here I've got the J9 Plus with the dock that fills it up. It's got a big old solution tank in here. There's the filter, or dustbin, and this one moves the mopping head up and down, so you can put this in a carpeted area. And I love this wood. It looks like a piece of furniture. So thanks everybody for watching my video today. Underneath the video, if you could hit the thumbs up button, that really helps out my YouTube channel. Again, you can purchase all this coffee right below the video. You'll see links to them, or go to justadadcoffee.com. I really do appreciate everybody's support. Recently, YouTube just sent me my 100,000 subscriber plaque. That would not be possible without everybody's support. So again, I really appreciate it. I'm excited for this new adventure, branding my own coffee. It tastes really good, and I hope you're going to definitely like it. Again, hoping somebody asks you what your favorite cup of coffee is. It's Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. And again, thanks so much for watching the YouTube channel. Also, be sure and check out my Just a Dad Videos group page on Facebook. This is where I do my free giveaways. So when I'm done with my products, I do a free giveaway on there, and you can kind of see behind the scenes of how I make my videos. Also, check out my podcast, Coffee with Dad Podcast. This is where I interview different people. I love to hear everybody's story, and I just think everybody has a story they want to tell. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and thanks so much. Miss Fiona always knows when I'm doing a recording.